Yeah, they're all excited. They're all very happy to have been part of the team. And I think initially it's just that we kind of pulled off something unexpected. That's the reaction that I'm getting from a lot of friends and the people in the golfing community all over the world. Well, I think that was the key, just making sure that uh, we're very happy. There were no conflicts. There was no kind of any tension between any two players. Everybody was very happy. I mean, they basically told me, look, we can. Everybody said we're good to play with anybody, So there's because we try to get a sense that prefer somebody or the other, or whatever, and everybody was whatever you decide is good with us, and that was great to have that free hand. And then it left everything open for Rex, my vice captain, and myself to figure out what are the teams that would work best. And there was learnings going along. You keep learning, and but overall, I think it all worked out as well as it could. Really, I ignored the world rankings even in Spain 2 years ago, and I ignored the world rankings this time. I'd seen them briefly when the European team was announced, and I knew that overall they were better on paper, but it didn't enter my mind, and I didn't bring it up at all in any of the meetings, and I don't think it was on the mind of any of the players. I think everybody was very well balanced. Any player could beat anybody else on a given day. Let's put it this way: when people were making the turn, things were not looking good for us. We were, I think, up in four and down in five or six of the games, and two were tied as people moved into 10, 11. But it was really when our players moved through 12, 13, 14 that it seemed the tide was shifting a bit. Pichakson was down after seven, but after 11, he was two up. And when I got that news, that was a huge flip. I think the biggest one was when Taishi, who was three down with three to play, and then there was no update after 15. So he was playing, and I kept trying to figure out what the updates were because I was with the later matches that were open. And and then suddenly we got news that he had tied the match. I mean, that was like unbelievable, I mean, nobody could have anticipated because I think the guy who was playing was like the number two ranked strong player. And for him, for Taishi to come back, and it was great. Hiroshi, after losing the first match, he immediately dropped back onto the bag with Taishi as a caddy. And that was a great example of how a little bit of teamwork helped. So that half point was a pure bonus. And when we saw that, as well as we saw Pichakson's match turn, and a couple of matches we were quite far ahead, like Eric Zhao won 6-4, and then we were three up and four up in some of the other matches. So suddenly it seemed like when we were around 14 that things were starting to look better, much better. So it was very exciting. And then Pichakson, he was one up and he was very strong. Anmin, all square, but he was a rock. I actually thought that Anmin might just end up winning his match just because of the kind of player he is. But the tie obviously was great as well. And then Pichakson was very calm, very confident. One up, he was making no mistakes. In fact, on number 16, it looked like he might close the match out pretty much because he hit it about 6 feet on 16, which is a pretty long par four. And his opponent hit it to about 20 feet. And then his opponent made the birdie on 16. And then Pichakson suddenly they had to make the birdie putt as well to stay one up. So that was very critical that he made that 6-footer. Otherwise, that could have just turned the whole match right there. That guy made a 20-footer under pressure, which was amazing. And then Pichakson hold it on top. So he still went to 17, one up. And then, of course, the opponent hit it in the bunker, front bunker. Pichakson hit it on the right fringe. So he had about a 20-footer. And after the bunker shot was hit, the opponent still had about 15 feet. But then Pichakson almost hold his putt, had a tap in left, picked it up. And at that point, we didn't know Anmin had finished all square. Otherwise, even a tie would have been good enough, at that point. But it just so happened he closed the match out two up on that hole, and that was that. We rushed over in the buggy to 18 and saw, we got a quick sense as we reached the green that that match had ended as a tie, and then we knew we had won. I think their role was very, very critical because they're very positive kids, and Joshua, playing with his buddy Zach Swanwick, they had great chemistry. They won their first two matches pretty handsomely. They were also able to assure the team, of their own confidence, and maybe to have confidence in the way the whole team was working. And I'm so happy that we actually had them back. That experience from Spain probably rubbed off on the rest of the team. Yeah, what was really encouraging with Karthik is that during the practice rounds, the senior players on the team were really impressed with him, and they told me how impressed they were, and that gave me confidence to play him. And I think putting him with a guy like Enrique Di Mayuga of Philippines, who's a senior in college at SMU in Texas, Enrique was so supportive, and I knew Enrique would give him a boost because Enrique was kind of a cheerleader for Karthik. And I think that boosted Karthik's performance when they paired up together. In the first match of the whole tournament, when they were playing foursomes in the morning, it seemed like Karthik was bailing Enrique's misses out. He would get it up and down every time Enrique missed a green. I'm sure this has been a great confidence booster for Karthik, and everybody was super impressed with him. So, fingers crossed, hopefully this will spur him to bigger and better things in the future.